Mark Rothko was a 20th century painter, perhaps best known for working with large rectangular fields of color, like in this painting from 1956, simply called Yellow and Orange. Rothko used a rather elaborate process to paint these images, involving many, many layers of thin paint. So thin, in fact, that the deeper layers are often visible through the upper layers so that the colors actually interact with each other. And he also flared out the rectangles so that the edges of them nearly disappear, they dissolve, so that the viewer has a sensation of these shapes contracting or compressing with the pressure of those adjacent colors. And in this way, the whole painting is activated. There's push and pull, there's tension and release, and all of this was very intentional. Rothko insisted that these paintings were not about form alone, but were meant to convey profound content. He said at one point that he was only interested in expressing basic human emotion, like ecstasy, tragedy, doom. He wanted them to be seen in a group, in a relatively small space, with the paintings hung low to the ground and with only indirect lighting. In other words, he was creating an environment that would allow the viewer to interact with the paintings, not as artworks, precious artworks, sanctimoniously hung on a gallery wall, but instead as painted objects that invite participation. And it makes sense. When you're in a small space with these paintings, they overwhelm you. The paintings fill your frame of vision, and there's a sense where you cannot get away from them. Rothko himself said that this is not necessarily just an aesthetic experience, but actually perhaps a religious one, where the viewer actually experiences something transcendent, profound, an awareness of the infinite, or perhaps a quickening of the spirit, or an awakening of the soul.